There's a case I wanted to actually present today, and it's a woman that was recently she just got her blood work back, and she has EBV, like Epstein bars.
Right.
And I have been working for her for over 2 months now, and I told her you have to go check it, and yeah, it turns out she does have it. So now that you're talking about lysine, could it be also helpful with EBV?
Yeah, really good question, to which I don't have an answer. But it's a really good supposition, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can suppose that it could be useful. It's a great hypothesis. And the way you test hypotheses is by trying them out in a controlled situation. So you may want to push, but I mean, EBV has been around for a long time. Lysine's been around for a long time. So I suspect that somebody has tested that one out. Okay. In maybe the functional medical world or the alternative world. So that would be worth first doing a literature review on, and then seeing what comes up.
Okay. I wanted to actually tell you about what she's going through, but I don't want to take up someone else's time. So if it's okay that I go, tell me when it's okay, and I'm gonna tell you more about her.
Okay, so who's gonna present cases today? Or is anybody presenting?
I have some questions regarding one.
Okay, you've got questions. Francis? Can't hear you.
I don't have a case. I have questions regarding getting clarification on a few amino acids.
Okay. Elena?
I don't have a case to present, but I'm just letting you know that I have a case. And I sent him, yes, I need 2 more for the internship, right? And I was like, okay, June. And so I just sent him the digital chart Thursday evening, but he has kids, he has a job. So I have a case, and there you go.
Very good. Good to hear. Okay. Yana, why don't you start? Let's start with your case, and then we'll go for the questions.
Okay, so it's a 42-year-old woman. She has 2 kids. After her first pregnancy, she probably had a postpartum depression. And a year after that, she had EBV. Then she tried to get pregnant. So for 2 years, she was really struggling with the EBV. Then she tried to get pregnant again. She had a miscarriage, and all her EBV symptoms disappeared after the miscarriage. Okay. Now, after the miscarriage, she got pregnant again. She gave birth to a healthy baby. Everything is okay. Now she has 2 kids. The second kid is now 16 months old. And again, she has EBV. So 2 months ago, she started feeling that she's very, very weak. She has no energy. She's very anxious. She came to me. We did the chart. I started her on aminos. And still, she's very, very tired, very anxious, does not want to get up in the morning. So I told her, okay, you have to do blood work. TSH, we also spoke about this in class. We were talking about TSH and Hashimoto's and EBV. So today, 2 days ago, she got her results back and she has EBV. Her TSH is 2.35, so it's kind of
That's
borderline.
close enough, yeah.
Yeah, very borderline. And she's I can show you what she's on. She takes 2000 milligrams tyrosine 3 times a day, 200 milligrams 5-HTP 4 times a day. She also takes it before bedtime. I gave it to her in order for her to be more active in the morning, to have this.
And so question, Yana. Is she getting any pause? So those are really high, really, high doses. Is she getting any response from them at all?
Very slight, okay? Let's say that the numbers, I can show you the numbers. The numbers went down like by 2 to 3 points.
After you really jack the doses up?
Yeah.
What cofactors do you have her on?
She takes 4,000 omega per day. She takes magnesium. What else is she on? Multivitamin. And now that her zinc and copper and ferritin are back, I'm gonna see whether she needs them or not, because I haven't really went over the test results yet. I only got a look at the thyroid and the EBV. So based on that, we're gonna see if she needs zinc and copper, and maybe also
You have her on a multi? I know you mentioned, I don't remember. Did you say you had her on a multi?
yes, True Balance.
Okay. And how's she eating?
Oh, she's eating really well. She's eating
Okay.
really well, but she's a sports coach. Okay, she's a personal trainer, so she's very, very fit. She's very, very disciplined in terms of food, and she has pretty good like eating habits.
Okay, so this is EPV.
This is EBV.
Now, does anybody in the group right now have solid experience with that? No?
No.
Okay, here's what I know. It is one of the drivers of long-term chronic fatigue syndrome and, all of those things that have all the initials, the alphabet soup initials around chronic fatigue syndrome. It comes and goes.
Mhm.
It's one of those intermittent, remission relapsing disorders. Des Bio, which is one of the top homeopathic remedy companies in the world, in the country, has a EBV homeopathic remedy. And I think that is probably a useful way to go. I have not looked for a alternative medicine or functional medicine or a nutrient approach to EBV, but I think the lysine vitamin C combo is really, really worth trying. This is not a neurotransmitter deficiency disorder. Okay, this is why even though you're jacking your aminos up way, way, way high, you're not getting much of a response. My druthers would be to pull it down to more normal dosing. See if her numbers go back up again. If her numbers go back up again, raise the dosing. But this is not a neurotransmitter issue. This is an infection issue. And so supporting the anti-inflammatory and anti-infective, antiviral processes in the body, I think is going to be key. do we know her vitamin D status?
Yes, I asked her to do the vitamin D, and the vitamin D is around 90, so it's pretty good.
90?
90, yeah.
Okay, we don't want it any higher than that, Yana. Higher than that is when you can start getting toxicity symptoms. So that's not it.
So what
because
is the top?
the top is just around 90.
Because she is on 93, right? 93.5, I think.
Is she taking vitamin D every day
Hmm,
other than what's in the
I
balance?
have to look in my notes. I don't remember it by heart.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Well, she could maybe take extra vitamin D once a week, but she really doesn't need extra vitamin D. Okay. She's got 400 IUs in her True Balance. And that might be sufficient to keep her numbers, happy, but she doesn't need any extra beyond that. Okay, so vitamin D apparently is strongly antiviral. So that's not the issue. You're going to look at her zinc levels. Without really looking at the, functional medical research, I would simply go for the lysine, the vitamin C. And I mean, high dose vitamin C, sort of up to bowel tolerance.
Yeah.
And, like a gram an hour or something like that during your waking hours. And the formula from Desbio, if you can get it.
The name of the company is Desbio.
Yes, DESBIO.
DESBIO. Okay.
D is a boy. Yeah. Desbio.
Okay.
And what
I
is that
think
for?
it might be Deseret Biologics.
And what supplement are you getting there?
Their homeopathic remedy for EBV.
Oh,
Desbio.
Yep. There's a reason why it went into remission during pregnancy. So there's something about the pregnancy hormones that supported her immune system. But I don't know enough to, know how to think through that.
Yeah, because when you're pregnant, you have a high progesterone and high estrogens, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that it's related?
I think that that's worth considering.
But is it possible, Christina, that she has EBV and also has postpartum depression?
Well, you can't I mean, yes, but postpartum depression, you need to be looking at the causes of it. So we have high copper. I mean, and you're doing that, Yana. You're kind of systematically going through the different causes of postpartum depression to find what might be driving it. Now, when you did the thyroid test, did they do a Hashimoto's or did they just do a TSH?
TSH, T3, and T4. They did TSH, T3, and T4.
And is the T3 okay?
Let me see. I don't remember. Just a second. I can pull it up.
Oh, well, if you can pull it up in your phone, let's also look at ferritin and the other markers.
Okay, let's
Zinc and
have a look.
copper. Yeah, Kathy?
I know that a lot of people post that Hashimoto's is often brought on by pregnancy.
It is. See, that's why I wanted to ask.
Especially if she had any additional stressors going on during the time. And the fact that she had a miscarriage, I would also be interested to know the time between the miscarriage and the pregnancy following that.
and the process. Yeah, and the
Had a
process
time to recover.
Plus
Sorry.
the processing- Plus, I just want to interject there. Plus the processing of the miscarriage and the grief that goes along with that, that
Yes.
causes the anxiety. You now have this brand new baby, but you still lost another one.
Yeah.
And many times people are not, we don't have a space to process that. And it makes sense. So all of these things are filling up her bucket.
And then with all the toxins that are, circulating because of the virus, then you also need to wonder how her detox pathways are doing with phase 1 and phase 2 to, get the hormones out that her body is, produced from the change in the miscarriage, and then with the pregnancy, and then the after pregnancy, there's a lot of hormones. And if she's not detoxing those, and her immune system is also dealing with this infection, and just all that hormonal imbalance can cause a lot of anxiety and emotional dysregulation.
Exactly. So I would pull down your aminos to, our kind of normal dosing.
I'm curious if she would do well on the DLPA.
I was going to think.
She's
that-
on
a
it.
little bit to
She's on
flip-
it.
She's on the DLPA.
How much?
Yeah. She takes 1,000 once a day in the after lunch because of her inability to really she can't really, like, she does not want to do anything. She doesn't want to work. She doesn't want to, like, she has no energy.
Okay, Yana, pull down the tyrosine.
Okay.
Do 1,000 milligrams 3 times a day, along with have her take 1,000 milligrams of the DLPA at the same time.
Together 3 times a day. Okay.
Yep. Let's see what that does, okay? Because and if you can get DPA down the road, switch over, but I know.
No.
But right now the DLPA is fine. So bring down the tyrosine, save her some money. Triple your DLPA, get that dephenylalanine in there, because I agree. I think there's a grieving process going on.
And would you say to do the DPA later in the day where you don't need the energy from the
Yes,
DLPA?
but she can't get it right now in Israel.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit problematic now. Yeah.
I hear.
So the other thing that comes to mind is the whole in the trauma part and mitochondria and dealing with the EBV, and then also if she's got any Hashimoto's and those antibodies and issues floating around, is that her energy is being stolen for managing her
Immune system?
her immune system. So anything that can be supportive to her mitochondria, like CoQ10 or something like that, perhaps might be helpful.
Yeah, you think
Yes.
CoQ10 is something that could
Yes,
help?
I do. I would bring in CoQ10. And again, the 5-HTP, I would bring back down to normal dose, no more than 400 milligrams a day.
Okay.
My guess is she's having trouble converting the aminos into the neurotransmitters because of the toxicity, which is eating up her BH4. So, we've got a number of processes here. So let's brainstorm on what new detoxifying nutrients she should bring in. So here's our options. We've got N-acetylcysteine. We've got curcumin.
Quercetin?
We've got quercetin. Oh no, that's the biggie here though.
Milk thistle?
We have milk thistle. And we've got that liver formula by Himalaya. So either does milk thistle by itself, or the liver formula, I think it's called liver something by the Himalaya company.
Yeah.
That should support the liver detox pathways.
I I was thinking to put her on a liver detox like regimen. It's like 9 days of um celery juice, like a lot of celery juice in the morning in order to detoxify the liver. And
I
I think that
wouldn't do anything intense.
mhm,
She's too weak.
Yeah.
okay.
I would be gentle. So I would do a good curcumin a couple of times a day. And the milk thistle.
She's in Israel, right?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a product by Designs for Health called liver gallbladder complex. Supports bile flow and toxin elimination. And what's in here is taurine, inositol, ox bile, artichoke extract, beet powder, milk thistle, and methionine.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, you don't want to overwhelm her with any more to do.
I would put, yeah, we're not seeing signs unless we are, but you're not mentioning signs of bile. That's a particular bile support formula.
Mhm.
And the reason why it's called detox is because bile is what takes the toxins out of the liver through the bile.
Yeah.
But that's a bile formula. I think we need
Okay.
to step back a step and actually help the liver detoxify, help the detoxification process. So you're going to do that with the curcumin, and you're going to do that with the milk thistle.
And then there's some natural, just dietary wise, things like parsley and cilantro and chlorella. Well, maybe not chlorella. I think I'm getting that confused.
Yeah,
Those are more
chlorella is
heavy
also-
metals. Those are your heavy metal detoxifiers.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not general detoxifiers. They bind to your heavy metals.
Okay. What about dandelion and garlic and
Yes, those are good.
Supported.
Okay.
Yeah.
Garlic's good,
And green
onion's
tea.
good, green tea's good, the catechins. The thing you mentioned right before garlic, a dandelion root's good.
dandelion?
Bitter greens, bitter herbs help the liver.
Yeah, the bitters are more again for your bile flow
Oh.
and for your gallbladder.
Mhm.
They support production of bile and all of your digestive enzymes. And again, we're wanting to take it a step back prior to bile production. Now, I was thinking about something like nitric oxide.
Mm. Now, Christina, I've read some things or heard some things that if you have too much of it, it's a really bad thing.
If you have too much of it, and that's where my brain went. So it's really useful in the detoxification process, but you need enough SOD and catalase. Otherwise, the NO turns into NOS or NOO, which then becomes highly, highly, highly destructive.
So how do you know where you are in that? Like, how
Well,
do you?
that's a really, really good question. And the nitric oxide people have some good answers to that, but I don't have them in my head. It's not actually something I use. I'm just sort of kind of brainstorming right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I would go and get some SOD.
What's that?
So
Right.
SOD, so there's two enzymes in the detoxification pathway. Superoxide dismutase is the SOD, and catalase. They work together and they detoxify all of those nasties. The peroxynitrates, I can't remember all of the names of them, but all of the nasties that eat up your BH4 get detoxified by your SOD and catalase. So unless we look at, like, do a genetic test on her, we're not going to be certain that her SOD and catalase pathways are impaired. but it's very possible. And so, bringing in some SOD is not going to hurt. Usually. When it hurts is if you speed up detox too fast. But generally, it's not going to hurt. And yeah, those are my suggestions.
Does that also help with detoxing excess estrogen for management of hot flashes and things like that?
Most likely.
What about primrose oil?
So primrose oil can help. So the GLA can help support liver function. Absolutely.
So is it
Glutamine.
like
Glutamine helps support liver function.
so glutamine and primrose oil, or just glutamine?
Well, I wouldn't go that direction right now. I would go with the things I've already suggested.
Okay.
Yeah.
And anything specific on the last one? Any specific product?
For the SOD, I think
Yes.
I think NutraWest has one. I would just look around. I don't know what's out there, and
Okay.
I don't know what you can get.
Elaine, do you have any suggestions?
Well, and wait, before we go on there,
Not
don't,
specifically for SOD. There's a lot of,
yeah,
any
Yana, don't
reputable
overload her.
company, yeah, or Nutricology, lots of them.
And the other thing, aside from, throwing all these supplements at her that, for someone with 2 small children can be overwhelming. I mean, I remember when I was sick and I had to take, I had to go on short-term disability and also had 1 small child. And it was overwhelming in and of itself. So I'd also be curious as to what she's actually doing to help manage, like tools that she's using to manage her stress. Like, is she meditating? Is she getting out walking? Or is she doing yoga? Or is she involved in a support group of some?
Is she getting help?
Yeah, that's my question. Help. That too, though.
She's getting a lot of help. She's really taking care of herself.
Okay.
She's really doing a lot of things for herself. Like, she's really trying to replenish the resource, the internal resource. Like, she's really on it, but she doesn't see any results because she has been like in a very dark place for the last 2 months. And she's really struggling because, as you said, she has 2 kids, she has a full-time job, and it's very demanding. But she's really trying to take care of herself.
Yana,
And
can she take a short-term leave from her job?
Yeah.
This woman needs to rest.
Yeah.
uh,
Can
I
she
mean,
do
she's
short-term
self-care and
disability?
overdue.
No. she's 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 a blogger, and she's a very successful personal trainer, and she sells courses online, and she's all constantly, those bloggers that 24/7 busy, like creating content, creating whatever, and she's very busy.
She
Okay.
definitely has an adrenal component to it.
And a bit of an
Yeah.
adrenaline junkie.
Yeah. Yana, I would seriously talk to her
Yeah. She's burning out.
Plug.
about
Have
her
fun
need
plug.
to actually pay attention. See what she's doing. She says she's doing all this stuff to get support and to be really good, right? But she's putting that on top of being a workaholic.
Exactly.
And that's the problem. She's not going to heal
No.
until she takes the pressure off herself. And that means looking at everything she's doing and figuring out what she can put on hold for 3 months. And during that 3-month period, and you're right, Kathy, absolutely, she needs adrenal support.
Yeah.
And that's where the vitamin C that we've already talked about is good. Pantothenic acid is good. And then just, I like standard processes, adrenal formulas. I think they're really good. I like the Drenamin.
I had good luck with the Dr. Wilson's glandulars, actually.
Yep,
I
he
used
has,
their-
the glandulars are really good. So you could
She,
bring
she
an
is,
glandular formula for the time being, but she needs to stop burning the candle at both ends. Take a break, breathe.
and I think a lot of that with her being so driven like that comes in control. You know, it's not so much that she's just a type A and a go-getter, but that she has control issues and
Which comes from trauma.
and fear
Mhm.
that she's afraid to let other people do, or yeah, it can come from a
She
whole.
does not, she's very good at delegating, okay? She doesn't really have like she's over this control issue. She did have it, but she's really good at delegating. She has a whole team working with her. So she's trying. She's really trying.
Okay.
Cut what she's doing in half for 3 months.
And if she has a good supportive team that she feels good about and doesn't have the control, then she should be able to relinquish some of the responsibility so that they can do it. She can monitor it from afar, but really compartmentalize when she's going to be active in her work and when she's going to be the mom and when she's going to be taking care of herself. Because something has to give.
Yeah, I'm
That'll
gonna
allow the
discuss it
system to
with
come
her.
out of that. She's in a sympathetic system, boom. And then she's got this virus. So she doesn't have everything that she needs in order to support her immune system. And keeping going, you know, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. In fact, if there is, it's a train. Kind of a thing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
What is her name?
her name is Olga.
I'll just hold Olga in my prayer pocket and hope that,
Oh, thank you so much.
yeah, that's, I mean, and how old is she?
42.
Yeah. So she's in perimenopause.
Yeah.
All of that, it's a perfect storm.
Yep. Mine hit at 45.
Yeah. So she needs to put the boat back in the harbor.
Yeah, but you know, she just started this whole social media thing, and she's
Yeah.
like really, really excited, and she's very, very like go-getter, you know, like a
It's
lot
at the
of
expense of her health,
ambition.
though.
Right. And being a physical fitness coach, right? She knows all this. So ask her, what would she tell her client if her client came to her with this situation? How would she help them manage it?
Actually, a lot of personal trainers don't have an idea about adrenals and over
Mm-mm.
exercising and overtraining.
And with the thyroid and the adrenals being best friends, and one is compromised, and now they're trying to
And
support
perimenopause and
Oh my
progesterone
God.
steal, and I mean,
your ovaries, everything.
awful. It's a terrible time to,
Mhm.
yeah.
To
I
overextend.
pulled up
Did you
her,
say you had her ferritin, copper, and zinc levels on your phone? Can you
yeah,
see
I
them?
pulled it up. Yeah, just a second. I don't know how to share screen on the phone,
It's
so I'm
okay,
just
just
gonna
tell
read it.
us. Just
Yeah,
read them
yeah.
to us.
Just a second. So her TSH is 2.315. Her T3 is 3.9,
What's the range for the T3?
3.5 to 6.5.
And she's at 3.9.
Yeah, she's at the
Yeah.
other end.
She's not converting.
Mm-mm.
Okay, that's part of the problem. Now, that could be a Hashimoto's problem. It could be a cofactor problem. It could be an exhaustion problem. But that's at the bottom of normal. So even though her TSH is okay, which means her T4 is probably okay, it ain't converting.
Her T4 is 12.8 and the range is 11.5 to 22.7.
So she's at the bottom end there too.
Yeah.
Even though her TSH is relatively normal. So we've got a problem going on, and I would have her do a Hashimoto's test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked her to ask for the Hashimoto's, but her doctor, you know, it's very difficult here to get all these tests.
It's difficult everywhere to get all these tests. So
Yeah.
you may have to order it from a specialty lab.
So actually, Christina, I'm just pulling up my functional ranges for the TSH. It goes from 0 to 2. So she's
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's only a tiny bit outside.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
So you know, that's close enough to two, sort of, for me to be okay with. I mean, because it's really like her TSH should be at a 3 or 4, given how low her T4 is.
Mhm.
And she should also do some sort of hormone testing, either a Dutch or a saliva, as well as a 4-point cortisol test.
Yeah.
Saliva
Yeah.
test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So her iron is 128 and the top range is 145.
What's the bottom range?
Bottom range is 40.
Okay, okay. What
Okay,
about ferritin?
that's iron.
Well, there should be 3 or 4 different iron markers.
Right, but I don't see the ferritin here yet.
Okay, so there's iron,
Yes, I can-
ferritin, and then a TI something, and a ferritin, I don't remember, but there's like 2 more.
PICB or iron binding goblin or something.
Thank you. Total iron binding.
That's it.
globulin,
That's what the
that
T
one.
is for. Yay. I was like,
Yeah.
testosterone? No.
Okay, and what about her zinc and copper?
Just a second, I'm looking for it.
I have the Walsh ranges for zinc and copper on a sticky note in my wall.
Really?
Does she eat much gluten or dairy?
Good question.
No, she eats pretty well, but I asked you, I'm gonna put her on no gluten, no dairy, and no sugar. That's what I want to do because I want to restore her gut. First of all, and another thing I wanted to ask you.
And wait a
What
moment, I want zinc and copper before we move on.
Yeah, just a second. I'm looking for it. No, I don't see it here. I don't see it here. Maybe I just got a part of the test results. I don't know, but she sent me like 4 emails and I don't see it here.
Well, ask her for zinc and copper,
Yeah, sure, of course.
because copper is implicated in postpartum depression. So we need to rule that out.
Meaning it would be lower or higher?
Higher.
Higher.
And high copper drives down zinc, and zinc is a necessary cofactor for turning our amino acids into neurotransmitters. So this is why we need to know what her zinc and copper is, because she's on mega doses of aminos and they're not really doing anything.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I can't see it here. Zinc and copper. No.
Okay, so please ask her about that, and if she can go back and
Sure.
get them.
So what I wanted to ask you, what do you think about a probiotic?
Yeah, I mean, all of those things are good and useful, but you do not want to throw the kitchen sink at her. Okay, you don't want to throw everything under the sun at her. We really need to really target what needs supporting. She can eat fermented foods. Okay, I don't want to give this woman more pills. So, you know, because we're going to do an antiviral support, right? We're doing a liver support. We're doing adrenal support. And we're doing detoxi support. Okay, that's sort of liver. Those are 3 big things. We don't want to, let's do that for a month or 2 and see what changes. Then you can bring in other stuff.
Okay.
Okay, because otherwise you're going to overwhelm her. She's not going to not take anything.
And if you
No,
give
she's
too much, then we don't even know what's working and what's not working.
Right.
I mean, is
Right.
she pooping okay? Is
Yeah,
her
that's
bowel
another good
movements
thing.
normal and all that?
yeah.
And
Yeah,
she's not on
yeah.
antibiotics. So let's stay very focused on the organ systems that we want to support, that we have evidence for, that need support.
And if you
Okay.
mention you wanted to help to heal the gut, then the gluten has to come. And like Kathy asked, is she eating that? Even a little bit can be problematic.
That's why I want to put her on no gluten, no dairy, and no sugar.
Okay, but
For a
let's
month, for
remember,
30
this is a
days.
woman who used to be okay.
She may have she may have, because of all the stress, I mean, just stress in and of itself can cause intestinal permeability.
Mhm.
And so she has a component of leaky gut. So any of the amino acids with L-glutamine will be helpful in that. But removing, it's not so much bringing in what is helpful. It's like getting rid of what's going to leak in, that's going to cause the immune system again to become
Exactly.
even more inflamed, is everything. So you might want to, I mean, when I had adrenal issues, they took out the big 7, which included nuts and soy. And I mean, if she's doing protein shakes, look at have her look at what kind of protein. If she's using a genetically modified soy protein base, I mean, that could be in and of itself toxic to her. So, she may be eating quote unquote healthy, but if it's not organic and genetically modified and, tons of eggs, she could be sensitive to eggs, although, most people who are sensitive to things have more gut issues, and it doesn't sound like she has many gut issues, but still, it might be helpful to do a food sensitivity test. Not
Eggs
that,
make me severely depressed.
yeah, eggs can really, throw a number, especially when you get people that are like pushing eggs, like eggs are great, more and more eggs. And, it's just not myself included. I'm allergic to both or sensitive to both the whites and the yolks. And I was,
It's the top 5, right? Wheat, milk, soy, corn, and eggs.
Yeah. And if she's eating a lot of the same foods a lot, not getting in a big variety,
right.
that would be problematic. And if you were thinking about giving her the probiotic, but don't want to throw everything at her, she increases the vegetable status. That helps to build the good bacteria. That's food for the good bacteria. So, and that, you start to crowd out those other foods that aren't helping you and get in more nutrient dense foods, you're going to feel better.
Yeah.
She has a lot of, like, she eats a lot of leafy greens. She eats a lot of veggies. Like,
See,
she
I don't
eats
think
pretty well.
diet's her. I don't think diet's this woman's issue. She has an active infection
And a compromised immune system.
and a compromised immune system.
Yeah.
Okay?
And the only reason I bring in the food, the sensitivities is because it could just be further
Yeah.
overwhelming the immune
Overloading the immune
Mhm,
system.
mhm.
Yeah.
So it would be good to look at what she's eating and to see
Right.
which ones are, how often is she eating them, and could they be piece of it, and get some distance between when she eats it.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Was that helpful, Yana?
Oh, very much. Thank you so much.
Okay, very good. And I like the way that we're all kind of thinking through this as well. Good thinking, people.
That was very helpful.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it, because I really want to help her. She's such a sweetheart, and she has 2 amazing kids, and she's really, really, she has a big future. And I really hope that she's gonna have the strengths and all the, like, she has a lot of strengths inside, but something now is really, really standing in her way. So I hope that we're gonna be able to help her.
There you go. So, questions?
I can't remember where I would find the digital amino acid chart. Is that in our materials, or is that a separate website I go to?
It's separate at this point. Email,
Thank you.
email MJ and Mark.
Okay.
And go from there.
And
Thank
I purchased that a while ago, but I never heard back from Mark or never got a link or anything.
We are having serious issues in that process.
Okay.
And Mark right now is in massive overload.
I heard he was sick.
Mhm.
The
He got sick again.
yeah.
Whoa.
He got COVID again. He got
Yeah,
over it
again.
again. Yep, twice. He ended up at a super spreader event.
Wow.
Totally, that his father put together. So he and his 89-year-old father are supposed to go on a Nepal trek.
Oh my
And,
gosh.
I don't know, something like 6 months.
Wow.
And so his father put together this meetup group for everybody on this trek, all 16 people, to get together and meet each other. dad got some sort of weird hearing loss viral thing, so couldn't go because he turned completely deaf for a while. So he didn't go to the event he organized. Mark went, and last count, 10 out of 16 people came down with COVID.
Ugh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bummer.
Yeah, especially since I'm going to be in England in 3 days.
Mhm.
Wow.
And you were going to meet him.
I'm going to meet him in person. And like we're working a table at an addiction conference together. And, you know, he's taking us to Stonehenge and all sorts of things.
Oh, how
So
exciting.
it's
You
going
are
to be
gonna- he's
very
gonna-
fun.
Yeah, he's going to be your tour guide. Yay.
He is going to be our tour guide, providing he's not in bed with COVID.
Right.
When are
Yeah.
you there, Christina? Until what date are you in Europe?
I'm going to be in England from, well, we're arriving Tuesday morning. So we're flying all night. We're arriving Tuesday morning and we're leaving July 6th.
Nice.
Oh, maybe I come to visit you. I'm going to Belgium.
Are you really?
Yeah, I might
Wait.
come.
When are you going to Belgium?
Next Saturday.
Okay, well, Saturday and Sunday is when we're going to be at Stonehenge, and then we're going back to near London for Monday and Tuesday.
When's the
And then
conference?
we fly out on Wednesday. Pardon?
When are you at the conference table?
Thursday and
this-
Friday.
Oh. And is it a huge conference? A lot of people going to be there?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
It's the UK European Annual Addiction Conference.
Wow.
Wow.
Apparently they
cool.
didn't have it for the last 2 years. And so now they're having it again.
Oh boy, you're going to be really busy.
And so we've got a table, Mark and I'm not speaking at it because I didn't know about it in time to, you know, put in a proposal. I will for next year. But yeah,
Nice.
we're going to have a table.
I'm excited to hear about how that goes.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll hear
Yeah,
about it on the airwaves. It'll be so good.
Yeah, we're excited. Yeah, I'll see if I can do some live Facebooks. I mean, I hate videos in case you, I love teaching. I love this sort of thing, but just, you know, opening my phone and like doing a video thing or a live Facebook, God, I hate that with a passion.
Me too.
So we'll see what I can manage, but
You just think of us on the other side. And
That's
not-
right.
exactly. I'll pretend I'm just talking to, you know, the 4 of you.
And nobody can throw tomatoes, so you'll be fine.
Just want to remind all of you, and I know you've probably seen, you know, the emails are beginning to go out. We are putting on a 2-day event in July, which is just the lecture content of the course.
Uh-huh.
So if you know people who would benefit from that, please send them our way, and you're welcome to audit it because, you know, you've already paid for the course and stuff. So you're welcome to like sit in if you just want to, you know.
And that's the 24th or 25th of July?
That is the 23rd and the 22nd and 23rd,
Okay,
which is a Friday, Saturday.
right.
But here's where I really want like you guys to put the word out and participate if you want to. On the Thursday night at 7 to 9 Eastern, we are putting on a meet and greet.
Mm.
And it's free and open to the public.
Mhm.
And I want success stories. I want coaches talking about how this has impacted your lives and your practices and your clients. And then I want clients, so you can be your own client, right? Talking about the changes that amino acid therapy has made in your own life and your own recovery from whatever. So if any of you want to participate in that, we would love to have people show up just to say, hey, this is my testimony. And to invite people who need to hear testimonies.
Yeah.
You know, this is your time to invite your clients and your friends, your relatives and your colleagues and your whoever's.
I know
know.
right now I'll be lecturing that night, so I
Ah.
won't be able to make it, but I've got some people in mind to send.
Oh,
and if
wonderful.
for some reason I can reschedule that, I'll do it.
Okay, great.
But then we can listen in on the 23rd and 24th, 22nd
Yes.
and 23rd.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
I have a quick question. I'm very confused. I'm trying to figure it out. I know the difference between DPA and DLPA.
Good. What is it?
Well, LPA, from what I read in one of the books, is DLPA's close cousin.
And Francis, I have a
Yes.
whole lecture on it.
Yes, you do. So I have to go back and listen. But for right now, I'm just trying to grok a tad. So I know that that's more, but what is just LPA?
Okay, so LPA is L-phenylalanine.
Yes,
What
And
does
that's-
L-phenylalanine turn into, Francis?
tyrosine,
Yes, and what does tyrosine turn into?
L-DOPA,
Yes, and then
DOPA.
dopamine.
Okay, all right. So, and but anytime I work with this, I'm always giving and even using it for myself, the DLPA.
Yes.
I use the DPA, never leave home without it. But I'm looking at, okay, Francis, why did you buy LPA? Just
You
that?
don't. You
You
don't.
don't. Okay,
Now, okay, wait a minute. That said,
yeah,
some people do. Some people like it. Some people find that it's softer than tyrosine, but still effective. But L-phenylalanine can go sideways. Not all of it converts to tyrosine. That
okay.
can be a good thing. It can be a bad thing. I find some people can get more anxious on L-phenylalanine. Not everybody, some people. So the only time I personally use L-phenylalanine is when it's combined with the D.
Okay,
So did you happen to buy some separate L-phenylalanine on its own?
uh-huh,
Okay, so I too have L-phenylalanine, LPA on its own. And the reason why I bought it is tyrosine. I've tried it in several different ways, and microdosing is kind of okay, but it just doesn't feel well for me. So that's why I got the L-phenylalanine, and I had already had the DPA. And
Right.
so that's why I take it rather than buying another bottle of the DLPA. I just got the L to put with it. And that way, if I've never found it to be too stimulating, but I was concerned that a DLPA might be more stimulating in the afternoon because of the tyrosine component. So I can take the D and the L separate at the same time early in the day, and then just the D later at
In the
night
afternoon.
where it
Yeah.
won't have the tyrosine.
yeah.
in
There
it.
you
So
go.
that's why I bought mine separate.
And it doesn't have tyrosine. It turns into tyrosine.
And do
Right,
you-
right, turns into tyrosine.